Were you super ready to experience something so new like that when you decided to finally go play overseas? Done so much in your career and you're experiencing it on a global level. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the
Hi.
Athlete Commute. I definitely want to start by addressing a little bit of a time difference we're working with right now.
Yes.
So, where are you located?
I am in Strasbourg, which is like right on the border between Germany and France. So I am currently on my way to training, and I think you're like staying up late to be able to talk to me. So
Yeah,
thank
I'm
you.
choosing to be a little bit of a night owl tonight. I'm in California, and that's where you're from. So this is probably something you
Yes.
deal with even talking to friends or family back home, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I always say like my phone, I get like maybe 2 or 3 messages before noon, like maybe. And then I hear from my family and everyone, but not until like I don't even know. I want to say like 3 or 4 p.m. here.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's definitely an adjustment. And I usually don't talk to people in the morning because they're usually asleep.
Right. Yeah. I played in Finland for a little bit and I remember that European time difference and definitely such an adjustment. And it was always my
Yeah.
afternoon. And then you're always kind of talking about a little bit of a different day.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're like just about to start theirs and they're like, oh, well, have a good
yeah,
day. I'm like, okay, mine's over.
yeah, you're like, I can actually already update you.
Yeah, it's finished.
So you are obviously on your way to training, and how do you get to training? Kind of what does that look like for you day to day?
Yeah, so I am on my bike. I live in the city, and so cars are like not, it's not super easy to have a car. And I love my bike, honestly, and it takes me like 15 to 20 minutes to get there in the mornings. And if I had a car, I think it would take me like 30 because of the traffic and like the way the roads work. So
Yeah.
I love my bike. There's definitely a few times where it's raining or it's too cold. And then
Hmm.
there's like really good public transportation. So I'll just get on the tram line that runs along here. And that's like,
Oh, that's so nice.
yeah, like 25 minutes probably from
Yeah.
my 30 minutes maybe. So I mix it up, but usually I'm on my bike, and today it's actually not too cold and the sun's out, which is huge because it's November now. So
Yeah.
I'll
Maybe
take it
you're
as a win.
channeling the San Diego vibe. I'm calling you from here, so
I hope
it
so.
works
I hope
out.
so.
So, and I do see, I could tell by the way you were dressed. Is France pretty cold already this time of year?
It it just kind of depends where you are. Like we had a game in the south of France on Friday, and it was, I mean, you're by the ocean, so it was more of like a San Diego climate, maybe a little bit colder, but it definitely gets colder here than what I'm used to. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't snow a ton, but we got into, like low 30s, high 20s for a while, like a lot of the winter last year. And then we had like 2 snow days, I think. So it's
Wow.
not horrible, but it definitely was an adjustment for me because,
Yeah.
I grew up in San Diego and then I played at
Right.
Stanford and then I
Yeah.
played at San Diego after that. So like
That-
my idea of cold was like, you know, high 40s.
Yeah. And I was literally just going to bring that up because you are such a California born and raised and then chose to go to school in Northern California, which we all know is a bit different.
Yeah.
But still such an adjustment. Were you super ready to experience something so new like that when you decided to finally go play overseas?
To be honest, not like I wanted a different experience and I was excited about, I'd always kind of looked at Europe and I always wanted to go come play over here just because of like it's just such a different culture around the game.
Hmm.
And so that's something that I always kind of wanted, but
Hmm.
I think it was still really hard to leave because it was like everything I knew and I knew that it was going to be a big change for me. And I also got super lucky. Like I was playing professionally 20 minutes from my parents' house
Right.
with like my
At
best
the San Diego
friends.
way.
Yeah, like with my best friends and on like living like I played with one of my best friends on the team and then the other one lived like right near
Right.
me. And so it was just like, what am I doing? Kind of
Right.
walking away from all this. But at the same time, I was like, the things that scare you, like doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't do it. And so
Totally.
For me, I was like, okay, this is something that I've always wanted to do, and I know this is going to be hard, but I want to take the risk and just try it. And I kind of had in the back of my mind, like, it's not forever. If it doesn't go
Right.
well, like, there's always things you can do. So I'm really glad I did it. I've like really loved it. It's definitely been hard to be away from my family.
Mhm.
And like you said, the time change just makes it difficult. But like apart from that, it's been such a great experience, and I really have loved like just the experience of being in a new country. And I think you
Yeah.
grow a ton as a person, as a player, like all of that. So I've loved it.
Yeah, and I think then once you do that, the world starts to get a little smaller and it becomes a little less intimidating. I mean, you meet people there and you become friends, but also, I mean, for people that are following even professional women's soccer, it's been something that's been happening, and more people from America are now trying to play in these other countries and doing that a little backwards. A lot of times start in another country and come home, but we've been,
Hmm.
people from the NWSL go and play in Europe. So do you feel a bit of that shift, or, that energy around you of other people from America going and playing in Europe?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, I don't, I mean, to be honest, I have so many friends that have played in the US and have played overseas, and it's just
Mhm.
kind of a mix, and it feels like it almost feel and I don't know because I wasn't necessarily growing up in, like I wasn't the one going overseas or staying in the USL, but I feel like when I was in college, people kinda did one or the other, like, you went to Europe and played or you went to the US and played, and it wasn't a lot of, like, "Oh, you can go back and forth," and there weren't as many foreigners, like, internationals in the NWSL either, and so I think that's been kind of interesting for me to see just how, like, wow, there's a lot of it's just blending together, which I think is good for, like, the overall global game.
Yes, I completely agree, and that's something that's so amazing about soccer, and that's something that I found too is being able to experience your sport that you played your whole life back home or even in the United States, and then going to a different country and seeing what that same game means to a different culture is
Yeah,
something is a very unique experience.
very, and I think it's really cool to be like, here we have there's a really good culture around the teams, and people are really excited about it, and it's a smaller town, so I think that's been really fun for me too, to be able to see, like,
Yeah.
just yeah, just how different it can be, and in, like, such a cool and unique way. Because there's obviously so many good things about, fans in the US, but there's also so many good things about fans over here, so it's been really cool for me to see both sides.
Yeah. So I'm even curious, like, especially because you're able to bike to your training or take public transit, which is something that I love so much, but something that's difficult in California. Do you think
Yeah.
that even being able to connect with your city like that, I mean, it's a different feel when you can get around like that. You experience the city differently. Do you think it contributes at all to the way people, like your fan base is, and if it's a smaller town and how people support you guys?
I mean, I think so. I think the fact that, like, I get to live in the city too, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of times, you're in these American cities, and you're even over here, like, your team isn't necessarily in the city, like, and especially on the women's side over here, like, Paris PSG isn't like, it is in the grand region of Paris, but, like, it's
Right.
not in the city of
Mhm.
Paris, and so it's really cool, I think, for us to be and there's a lot of teams that are like that in this league, but there's, not so
Mhm.
many, but it is really cool for us to be, like, right in the city, and, like, the stadium is right like, I can when we play games in the stadium, like, I can bike to the stadium, like, it's all right
Yeah.
here, and so I think that does make a huge difference because,
Yeah.
like, it's just easy for people to get to things. It also makes it feel like, I'm rooting for my team, and it's, like,
Right.
my home, my city, that kind of vibe, so I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
I'm
can
cutting across an intersection right now, so okay, now
take
I'm
your
good.
time. Take your time. And so what about your other teammates? I mean, is biking the common thing to do? Is that something that just, you moving there, being an American and living there, that more internationals do, or is that what all your teammates?
Yeah, it's a lot more of the internationals. I think they're, like, almost all of the internationals bike just because, a lot of the French girls don't live in the city, they live in like, they don't live in the downtown area, so they live just kind of, like, out, so it's easier to have a car,
Yeah.
and also just for me, I don't know, I was like, "I don't really wanna have to deal with having a car and
Yeah.
the license," like, the whole process of the license, like, you technically can drive, but it didn't sound like it
Yeah.
was fully legal, so I was like, you know what, it's fine. So it's kind of fun because sometimes I'll actually like.
This episode is brought to you by SDSU's Sports MBA program. If you're passionate about sports and want to work in the women's sports industry, then this is the time to pay attention. SDSU's program is 12 months accelerated hands-on learning where students have actually gotten to work with teams like the San Diego Mojo, partnered with the Farmers Insurance Open, and visited headquarters like the Upper Deck or Callaway Golf. It's built for people who want to be in rooms like that. So if you're interested, deadlines are approaching. Learn more or apply with the links in the description.
I pass some of the girls where they enter like on the bike path. So sometimes we'll bike together or like we'll run into each other on the road. So it's kind of fun.
No, that's so fun. And then another thing that makes that experience so unique, and I feel like especially playing overseas, there's so many things that even when you step away from that make that experience so special. And the way
Yeah.
you experience it, there's so much more than just what the league was like, what the teams you were playing against are like, that you make you remember your particular stint on a certain team or with a certain.
Yeah, for sure. And I think because like when I was playing professionally in San Diego, it was just so like, I was doing all the same things that I was doing when I lived there because, I'd go to the beach and like I loved that. And so
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
here and to have a very different experience and to try a lot of different things. And it's kind of my first time like living in a city. Not that this one's all that
Right.
big and crazy, but it's just been a
Yeah.
really fun experience for me to kind of mix it up.
Yeah. So, okay. So asking you about your kind of three different transitions from collegiate at one of the powerhouses in the United States to then the professional team in San Diego Wave, another powerhouse, and then going to France. What would you say? Can you point to one thing that you had to transition to each of those that made it the biggest difference?
Hmm. Um, yeah, I mean, I think going from college to San Diego was just the biggest transition was the understanding like this is kind of now your job.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and just like the mindset shift around that, I think was a little bit tough for me at first, just because I was like, okay, you just have to think about it a little bit differently. And something that was kind of a little bit challenging for me at the beginning was what I love so much about Stanford was that I could, like go take these classes and do these things that I was super passionate about, and then also go play and have kind of both of those things. So, you know, if soccer wasn't going great, I could always focus a little bit, like not focus, but try to like give myself confidence by, okay, these things are really interesting and like distract myself a little bit. And then once I got to San Diego, I didn't have that. And so it was really important for me to kind of build out like what are other things that matter to me and where else do I want to like spend some energy so that not all of it is going towards
Mm-hmm.
my job.
Yeah.
Because that I think is hard. And then coming over here, I mean it's hard to like pinpoint one thing,
Yeah. When
but I
there's
think
so
just
much that's just night and day.
yeah, so much is just so different. But I think like just being comfortable with like it's just so culturally different. And I
Yeah.
think in learning to like accept and embrace those differences and like the fact that I a lot of times don't necessarily know exactly what's going on when we have things planned and they're
Mm-hmm.
not like,
Right.
I'm trying to figure out the French and all that. So I think
Mm-hmm.
just kind of being able to sit in uncertainty and sit in moments where I'm like, okay, I don't really fully understand. I don't know exactly everything that's going on, but like I'm still going to be here and I'm just going to give it like do what I can with the information that I have or, make the
I
most of the situation.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being one of the biggest things. It's almost the biggest thing is that you can't ever turn any of it off when you're living
Yeah.
somewhere so different because after training, then you go to meal time and the meal time is different. And then you go back to your room, but where you live or the way, you know what I mean? You
Yeah, it's
take
all
a
different.
shower is different. I mean, everything is so
Sorry,
different.
there's a leaf blower. I don't know if you can hear it.
I actually can't.
Okay,
It
good.
sounds amazing.
Okay, good.
Um, and so that I can definitely see that being such a big factor. And so even going back to what you said, like now that this is your job and that professional level, it is difficult but important to try to find, things that allow you to feel like a whole person and not just an athlete.
Yeah.
And thinking, I mean, you're on your way to training right now. What is some of your mindset and stuff as you start the day or as you go to training? Is it difficult to not, switch to what pressure is on you as the day starts, or how is it for you right now in France?
Um, I mean, I think my mindset is really just like, how can I get better? He's like right behind me. You
I
still
can't hear
can't
it
hear
at
it?
all.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mindset is kind of just like, how can I like grow and get better every day? And so
Mhm.
for me, that's like, how can I be intentional in training and focus on things like from the weekend's game? Like, what are things that I feel like I can do better, and how can I like focus on that in training today? So
Mhm.
I think that's kind of like for me. Um, I think also just trying to like make the most of this experience because I have really loved learning a different style of the game and like playing with players that I think are really talented.
Mhm.
And so I think just trying to embrace that as much as possible has also kind of been on my mind and something that I want to keep, yeah, just like keep doing and keep enjoying as much as possible.
That's awesome. I definitely, even I have felt like as I made every decision I made, even through my own career, I went back to like, how can I be really, really present in this? Because you
Yeah,
realize like so many changes can happen and you want to take from it what you can. So
exactly.
really
Yeah.
cool.
No, I think like time flies, as you know. So it's just
Yeah.
like, how can I learn from every experience that I'm in, and how can I make the most of it, and kind
Yeah.
of go from there. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna take my helmet off, but I can keep
Totally fine.
talking for a couple more minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so,
Okay.
and
Sure.
when you're not doing interviews on your way to training, um, I have a couple quick questions for you.
Yeah.
Are you a music or podcast kind of person when
It
you're traveling, or nothing? I mean,
it
sometimes kind
really
of hard.
depends. Yeah, sometimes I prefer to just kind of wake up in the morning and like go to training and just be able to look and enjoy and be like not listen to anything. Sometimes when I'm really tired and I need some motivation to bike home, I do music, but I
Uh-huh.
really love podcasts. I do listen to a lot of podcasts, and I listen to, yeah, like kind of all different kinds of things.
Hmm.
And yeah, I really liked Amy Poehler's podcast. I think it's really
Oh,
funny. And
funny.
then yeah, I love Trevor Noah's podcast. I love, like, In My Opinion with Michelle Obama. So I listen to a bunch of things, but
A
I
bunch of
would say kind of a mix of everything.
cool. Yeah, I can relate to that. And then another quick question: are you a coffee before training, electrolytes before training, or none of the above?
I usually do like a hot water with lemon. Well, in the
Mm,
summer I don't, but in the winter I do hot water with lemon. I
nice.
do drink coffee, but I don't drink it every day, so I don't really do that before training, and then I don't have electrolytes. So usually hot water with lemon.
Yeah. So I mean, does France have a lot more coffee? Like, you don't usually do coffee, but is it a big part of?
It's definitely a big part of, like, going and getting a coffee in the afternoon or, like, sitting and
Yeah.
having a coffee, but honestly, I've been surprised there's not that many girls on the team that drink coffee, which
Huh.
kind of surprised me. Like, there's not more people who aren't from here drink coffee than people who are from here.
Oh, that's actually,
Yeah,
that surprises me. Okay, and
yeah.
this is the big last question. What's something that you always keep in your practice bag that you have to take with you?
Hmm. Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I always have like a little bag that has like extra hair ties and like a
Uh-huh.
brush and just like things to
That's a
make
good
sure that
one.
I can get through the day. And
Uh-huh.
then always headphones. I always have a pen because sometimes I have French class. And then sometimes I'll have like meetings with the coaches or something. So depending on the day, I'll bring in a different notebook, but I always need to make sure I have the pen to write down notes.
Yeah.
So I think those are my big things.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. And then one more thing I did want to touch on is how involved you are in being a part of other athletes' lives and improving the game for future generations. And a lot of that is through mental health. So I definitely wanted to hear what are some of the most important things to you as you go out through your athlete career and your athletic
Mhm.
career, um, that you do for yourself in that, and that you would want to tell someone else who is going to start the same journey?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, the most important thing is having a good understanding of myself as a person, like what helps me and what hurts me. And I think you can learn all these really, like, I love talking to people and learning all these things and trying these new techniques and whatever, and mental skills and mental tools. But at the end of the day, like, you need to know yourself and you need to know what things are good for you and what things aren't. And so, like, I know for myself that when I just focus on soccer, on football, like, it's not good for me. And I know that there's plenty of people who can do that and love it, but like for me, I can't. And so I like having multiple other things where I can put some more time and energy and effort into so that I like have a little bit of a distraction.
Yeah.
And like, I know that I love visualizations, and visualizations work great for me. That's where they're for. Um, and like, visualizations work great for me, but I know like some people who don't like to do that. So for me, I think the biggest thing is knowing yourself and knowing what works, and not necessarily like trying to copy anyone else's. Learn from people and like ask questions. I think that's something that I have loved doing with people older than me and further along in their career. And that's why I want to have an impact on other people's lives who aren't as far along in their career, just because I think it's so helpful. So
Yeah.
ask questions and learn as much as you can, but also know like not everything is, one size fits all. And so figure out what works for you and experiment.
I think that's so cool. I mean, you're coming from San Diego. You've, done so much in your career and you're experiencing it on a global level. And I think like there's so much of an impact you can have through what you're learning and then what you're talking about. So this was very cool. I really appreciate
Yeah, of
you
course.
taking us along on your bike ride. And good luck at training. But I
Thank
really appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah, of course. Apologies for probably being out of breath and for the leaf blower,
No,
but I hope
I
it
absolutely
worked.
love it. We want to see every type of commute. So this
Okay,
was pretty fun
awesome.
and unique.
Awesome. Okay, well, yeah, happy to do it.
All right. Bye, Sierra. Good luck. I'll talk to you.
Bye. Thank you.